there have been rumours for nigh on half a decade about this elusive, potential, possible Snyder cut of Justice League. Now, Justice League obviously came out in 2017. 2016 was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. But even up to 2016, there was the whisperings and murmurs of the Snyder cut. 2017, it got pushed more. 2018, it sort of became a giant thing. Beginning of 2018, because Justice League, I believe, came out in November 2017. But Justice League, not one of my favourite films, not one of my favourite comic book films, not one of my favourite DCEU films, not one of my favourite DC films. But I do have a newfound respect for that movie every time I watch it. I've watched it 3 times now, okay? And it's not as bad as the way I viewed it the first time I did see it. I think the first time I saw it, I viewed it sort of a bit biased. I think I had a bit of a biased tone to it just because of how well the MCU was doing at the time. And I can admit that. I think maybe it wasn't as bad as I said it was. It still wasn't good, all right? It still wasn't like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. But I think I may have given it like a 4.5 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. It might have been a 6 out of 10. It might have been a 5.5, but it was better than I said it was. And one of the problems I had was this weird tonality in the film and how it just felt very disconnected at certain times. And I thought the script was very muddled. And the reason was because... losing my voice. The reason was because Joss Whedon came onto the film. Zack Snyder left for personal reasons. And I think you could tell that with the movie something was a bit wrong. So now, years later, 3 years later, it's going to be 4 years by the time this comes out, Zack Snyder is having his Justice League film, the one he wants, released on HBO Max. I didn't think this would happen. I thought this was all lies. I thought that this would never see the light of day because it's sort of, in an odd way, is a kick in the teeth to Warner Brothers and Time Warner for them and their decision making. Because people really went behind this. I think even I was probably a bit behind this, being like, yeah, I want to see what he really wanted to make and not what he was, in a way, forced to make, which turned out to be a muddled pile of mess in a lot of ways. But allegedly, this new cut of the film is going to be 4 hours long, which is nutty. The other possibility is that it's going to be 5 or 6 one-hour-long episodes. And it's going to be a TV show and televised in that type of way. I'm for either of those options. I think if it's 4 hours long, I would probably prefer it in either 2 2-hour chunks or 4 1-hour chunks. But a 4-hour film, I guess I'm good with it. Avengers Endgame was like 3.5 hours. And I think Justice League had an inherent problem going into it in that the MCU had 9 years going up to 2017, maybe even 10 years if you include the pre-production on their first couple of films. They had a decade in advance of the idea of a connected universe. And I think that really helped push Marvel and make them the premier brand and DC like the offshoot brand. And I think DC have great characters as well. It's not like Marvel only have good characters and DC have bad ones. It's nothing like that. Some of my favourite comic book characters are DC characters and Marvel characters and Image Comics, and it's a mix of everything. It's not like I'm one type of comic fan, or I'm not really into comics anymore, unfortunately. The industry has just gone very, very far in one direction, and I don't love it. Not really. And the films, I hope they don't go in that same direction, but I think, surprisingly, DC might be that type of place which will take risks, experiment with their films, and see what works and what doesn't. And I think with the huge success Marvel have had with Endgame, Infinity War, the Avengers, and all that type of stuff, I think that maybe Marvel could become a bit cookie cutter with the way they do things. And seeing DC's last handful of films with, you look at 2017 and 2018, you had Shazam in 2019, you had Aquaman in 2018, Wonder Woman in 2017, The Joker, and even Harley Quinn to some extent. It's a risk having, a female lead in some ways. And, I mean, Margot Robbie's a huge star, but that film didn't really work. I didn't see it. I think that speaks to who that film was for. If it wasn't for me, someone who is a fan of comics and has been for 20 plus years, who was that movie for? And I think the box office sort of showed that. But other than that, all their films from 2017, other than Justice League, has been a hit commercially and also critically. And I think DC have an option to really push down that path and make stuff really interesting and enticing for the viewer. Whereas I think Marvel might have hit their peak, DC might still not have hit their peak. Even with the Joker last year and Shazam last year and Aquaman and Wonder Woman, they still might not have done it, which is really something to say. So I'm excited for this. I want to see what Zack Snyder's original vision was. Good to see, you know, what he left out and what was left out of the film through his choice or someone else's. So yeah, I'll want to see this. I really do want to see this, to see what his thought process was and the character developments that were put forward. I think it could be a very, very good learning experience in terms of cinema making, which is great. So I am all for that, and I do indeed want to give that a good long watch. I mean, 4 hours is not a small amount of time. 6 hours is an even less smaller amount, even less smaller amount of time. So I'm good with either. I think I'd probably prefer if it was 4 hours in 1 hour bursts, but if it's 6 hours, I'll take all the content I can get, especially if it fleshes out these characters. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then Superman himself will come after you. It might be Black Suit Superman. It seems like that was something which was a key factor in Snyder's version, and we never got to see it. So it's something which is on my list, something that I want to see in this extended, extra extended, double extended, triple extended, quadruple extended cut. And I think it's something that probably will be in there. So Black Suit Superman will come after you. You don't want that. You really don't, so just subscribe anyway to avoid that. Now, I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great, and I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. Been doing it for over 2 years now, and we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping until we get to 10,000 subscribers. So subscribe. That would help your brother, your friend, your guy, your friendly neighborhood YouTube creator out a lot. I know, shifting universe says shifting comics, but like, it is what it is, so take it. But I'll be back in tomorrow with some more quality shitty content, because that's what we do every single day. More of the quality shit. You're guaranteed that. You are indeed guaranteed that every single day. So I'll see you tomorrow, but most importantly and above all else, stay safe, stay inside, and subscribe. Did you do it? Like, did you just click the subscribe button? I can't tell from this side. I can tell, you know, on the metrics, but I can't tell from here. Like, subscribe though, right? You subscribed? I think they subscribed. They may have subscribed. I don't know who I'm talking to, but there's someone here. Maybe. There's no one here. I'm just talking to myself. But I think you did subscribe. Potentially? Maybe? Probably. Probably. So I'll see you again tomorrow with some more of the same quality shitty content. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.